you had a sedan that you owned that you felt was boring and uninspiring to drive, what would you do, right? That's the big question. Typically, you would either mod the hell out of the car, or you might change it to something that's completely different, maybe like an SUV or a hot hatch. But what if I told you that there is a sedan that could still be inspiring to drive, that's fun to drive, but at the same time, doesn't require you to change to another car? Today, I'm going to be reviewing just one such example, the 2014 Subaru WRX S4. The Subaru WRX S4 is actually based on the more conventional Subaru Impreza with a few major twists. Number one, it comes in both a sedan and a hatchback form. Secondly, it's offered with a more powerful engine. And third, it comes with distinctive changes with designs to compare. Since 2014, Subaru has decided to drop the Impreza name and to simply retain it as the WRX only. It's going to be a model that stands on its own, unassociated with the Impreza. Also, Subaru claims that the term WRX stands for World Rally Experimental. The WRX name has been recognized by the entire world since 1992 thanks to its involvement in the World Rally Championship. It has proven to be a very reliable and fortified contender, a prime example being that it contended against big ones like the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. They remained strict competitors up till the Lancer's demise in 2016. Right now, the sedan version of the WRX remains to be one of the very few available in its class. For those of you all wondering why you have not seen the S4 on local roads before, that's because this variant is only for the Japanese market. It's not available anywhere else. It's now time to see whether this WRX S4 can truly unshackle itself from the boring status of sedans, or if it's really an uncle car in disguise. That being said, this unit right here is one of the very few that's currently available on Malaysian roads, and I've got even greater news for you. This one is up for sale. So I want to personally thank Public Auto World Sdn Bhd for allowing me to review this car. It has been graciously provided by them. And if you are interested to find out more or maybe even purchase this car, they're the place to go. Do feel free to reach out to the sales rep in charge. I'll make sure his details are in the description below. Reach out to them as soon as possible before this car gets snapped up, guys. As always, we begin our journey with the front of the car. First thing you're going to realize is Subaru WRX's legendary hood scoops. This comes standard with every WRX. This one is no different. It's massive, so it's not just for show. You're going to get a whole lot of air intake for that additional power. Moving down to the lights, they are comprised of projector LED headlamps, and they also come with a bit of an eyebrow-like design to give it that additional border look. Moving over to the grille itself, as you can see, it's a trapezoidal shape, honeycomb mesh inspired grille. You will see Subaru's iconic 6-star logo in the center. There's an STI badge in there, but just as a disclaimer, this car is not an STI model. It is, in fact, a Japanese-only S4, as I mentioned earlier. A little bit lower, we are going to see that the car is, in fact, equipped with parking sensors on both front and rear. Now, one quirk I must mention, you notice the signal light is actually not integrated with the rest of the headlamp. Yes, you see that correctly? Look towards the bottom and you will see the fog lamp, the signal light and the DRLs all together. One on the left and one on the right. Back when this S4 was launched in 2014, it was provided with lightweight 5-spoke alloy rims that measured 225/45 rim 18. Yeah, 18 inches. Now, obviously, from then till now, the rims have been changed to completely different ones. And also back then, it was provided on Dunlop Super SP Sport. As expected with any performance car, this one also comes with large ventilated disc brakes, and for the braking power, it comes with a 4-pot brake calipers. As we pay closer attention to the side profile, we can't help but notice the side skirts that are also integrated with the air slats for improved aerodynamic functions. Also, right above those air slats, you will see the notable WRX nameplate printed and taped right on top of that. This is to show that you're not driving a conventional Subaru, you're actually driving the WRX. Moving upwards towards the finishing of the car's panels, you will notice the absence of chrome. Yes, there's no chrome on this. You will in fact only see black colored and body colored finishings. And the roof itself is coming with a bit of a slanted aerodynamic design to boost its overall performance in driving. The wing mirrors themselves, they are body mounted. You get clearer visibility. It comes with LED integrated turn signals, and they are button retractable. Sadly, not automatic. While the doors can be unlocked with this fob and the engine turned over with the push start button, there is one neat feature that the Subaru engineers have decided to include with this car. That's this little trick over here. As you can see, should an emergency happen where I'm not able to use the fob, I can actually remove this fob and reveal this key. Yep, there's a little key. Do you remember what it does? That's right, I can just simply slot it in here, unlock the door, voila, I'm locked. As we come along to the back of the car, first thing you're going to notice is that unlike conventional sedans that usually do not have rear wipers, this one does. Yep, there's one right there. Looks a little bit out of place, but it functions well. What I do find hilarious, however, is going to be that shark fin antenna. It looks like the iron that I use at home to iron my clothes. Yeah, same design. One thing I must mention about the spoiler, guys, it's not the original spoiler of this model. This one typically is offered with a ducktail spoiler, unlike this, which is actually the renowned STI high spoiler. The lights themselves, they are rear LED combinations. They've got bulbs for the other parts. Not very interesting to the eye, but the more interesting part will actually be the diffuser set at the bottom. It's black, it's got the center fog lamp, and what's really nice, it's got quad tailpipes, and they're all functional tailpipes, that is. Who says driving a performance-based car means that it cannot be practical? Rubbish, it can. Take this boot for example. You have three ways to actually access the boot. One, through a button at the inside of the car. Second, through the key fob themselves, like here, button here. And third, through this little button over here. And yes, there's a little reverse camera right there. As we open the boot, you're going to see it's colossal. You're talking 460 liters worth of boot space. There's enough to put a week's worth of grocery shopping items in here, guys. Now, as I pulled up this boot cover, you're going to see your usual tire kit stuffs, and unlike a lot of other sports cars that usually save space without having the tires in, this one still has a temporary tire at the very least. So worry not if your car runs into a flat. It's now time to take a look under the hood to see what actually powers this little monster. If you all recognize FA20, yes, that's the ever famous boxer engine by Subaru. That's the one that we currently use on this car. It is a 2-liter direct injection turbo engine. It produces 296 horsepower and guts out 400 Newton meters of torque. Plenty of power to hustle this monster. The engine itself is actually mated to a 6-speed Sportline Atronic CVT gearbox. Yes, sadly, there are no manuals for this particular variant. However, on the plus point, it caters to a lot of different groups of people who may not be as proficient when driving a manual. They can now drive this. Even better, it comes with symmetrical all-wheel drive for better grip and handling. If you want to know just how fast this car can go, it will do the 0 to 100 km/h sprint in 5 seconds. That's actually not pretty bad, considering that the car itself weighs in at 1,540 kilograms. The top speed on this car is rated at a crazy 250 km/h. Now, it may be able to go a lot faster than that, but do you really want to risk your life just to find out? I think not. Moving on to the next aspect, which is going to be fuel efficiency. This may be a performance car, but I can assure you it is fuel efficient. Well, at least according to Subaru, that is. Apparently, you can get a reading of up to 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers, which is about, I would say, 13 kilometers per liter. I could be a little bit off, guys. I apologize for that. And in case you're also wondering, the fuel tank itself, it is 60 liters in size. It is pretty big. Car like this, you want to use RON 97. Based on today's price, you're going to be paying an eye-watering 210 ringgit for just one tank of fuel. I'm sitting inside this Subaru right now. First thing I'm going to wonder, what sort of safety spec does it have? I'll tell you. It's got its standard ABS, it's got 6 airbags, and of course, it's got its stability control. But here's something else that it actually has. Multi-mode vehicle dynamic control and active torque vectoring. Basically, what this does is actually improve the cornering limit of your car as well as the quick response to your steering input. Pretty neat, isn't it? Another key safety element you will find in this car is also the Subaru EyeSight. Basically, this will include a plethora of safety features that will be the active lane keep, the steering assistance, pre-collision reverse throttle management, brake light recognition, pre-collision braking control, and adaptive cruise control. From the driver's perspective, I'm going to start by commenting on the dashboard meter themselves. This is the best of two worlds because while you do have your conventional tachometers, they are of course illuminated with red and white combinations. It also comes with a 3.5-inch multi-information display screen that shows the other warnings of the car. And speaking of multi-info display, this one doesn't just stop with the dashboard meter itself. Rather, it extends further down to the center console. There are another 2 screens for multi-info display. The one on the left basically is a warning for seatbelt occupants. And it's not just for the front passenger, the rear passengers also have their own warning symbols. The one on the right-hand side of the screen, that's the interesting part. It includes a lot of different features. One of it is the turbo boost gauge. Now with this button scrolling down or up, I can always change it to go show me the compass. It shows me the time, the overall fuel efficiency average, and also the range of petrol I have left before the car runs out, as well as other key elements. Next, I want to talk about the steering wheel itself. This one here, it is leather wrapped and it's also with the conventional sport red stitching. But the one thing that I must comment, it seems a little bit crowded because it does have multiple buttons on it. It's a multi-display button, but it's only on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. The left-hand side seems to be left blank on purpose. But what I really do like about this, the bottom, as you can see, flat out. You don't see this in very many option cars. And you've got your conventional paddle shifters. This I have been looking for in a car and not really having the chance to find it. I have found it, guys. It's here. You've got cruise control. What else can you want in a steering wheel? I also want to talk about something that we usually don't talk about, the pedals themselves. Subaru has actually graced this model with a set of aluminum sport pedals for the accelerator, the brake, as well as the footrest for the left foot. And even better, it's actually spaced wider apart. So the chances of your foot misstepping between the brakes and the accelerator is very minimal, if not none. The dashboard itself doesn't seem very notable. It does appear a little bit plain in my eyes. However, Subaru has done some things with the dashboard. One of it is they've added a leather padding over here. It is covered not only with leather but also with the red sport stitches to show that you're driving not a regular car but a sports performance car. And there's also 2 big speakers on the front. They're supposed to be tweeters, but they are regularly larger than the tweeters. And one more feature is, notice this, carbon fiber, baby. Original, authentic carbon fiber. They have placed this here as well as exactly on the center console section. Air conditioning vents on either end are chrome covered, chrome finished. Not the one on the center though, that one is still plastic. Center console, I must say, is very practically planned. Why? Take a look at the space here. There's plenty of space. It's deep enough for me to put very important items out of sight. There's also a bit of a hidden feature here, so if I want to hide something, I have the space to do it. Open this, you have 2 conventional cup holders. You've got a slot to put your phone in. Aside from that, it's very plain. There is one empty slot in here. The gear knob area is finished in a mixture of chrome as well as piano black finishes. And unlike other cars where the sports feature or any other buttons to change the driving dynamics of the car are usually placed, this one is not here. Instead, it's placed on the steering wheel. Aside from that, there are no physical handbrakes. You've got electronic parking brakes instead. For the air conditioning, this comes with dual automatic climate systems. You can control either end, but you still have knobs to manually control and override as and when you need to. For the player, it is a 7-inch touchscreen, and it is, believe it or not, from Panasonic. Of all, Panasonic guys, they're there. The speaker setup though, you will have 6 speakers to play with. That's 2 on the front, 1 on each door. For the door trims, each and every one of them, they have a combination finishing. So for certain sections, they are finished in leather with the red stitching. There's a section of it that's finished in silver paint, that's chromized. The door handles are chromed, and you have got compartmentalized slots to put in either water bottles or even just little card slots. They are functional at the very least. As we move on to the seats, we're going to notice the front seats are actually semi-bucket, and all of the seats are actually a combination of leather and Alcantara. Very good combination, guys, and they're very comfortable as well. The front seats are of course automatically adjustable, they're power adjustable, and very easy to use and extremely user-friendly. Now that I'm actually sitting in as a driver, I have to comment I have more than enough headroom and legroom. As you can see, ample headroom. I've got a good 3 to 4 inches worth. Legroom wise, I'm comfortable. I'm not hitting the dashboard. I feel this is just right. As for the rear headroom and legroom, I must say I am genuinely impressed. Given my size, I am comfortable. Yes, not nearly as much headroom as the front, but I still have at least 2 inches worth. Legroom is sufficient, provided the front occupant is no more than say 160 or 170 centimeters tall. Focusing on practicality, Subaru has ensured that it's not only limited to the front console as well as the door trims themselves, but they are also extended to the rear center armrest. Allow me to demonstrate. As I pull this down, you notice it's not just your conventional armrest. You do have 2 cup holders here. Again, functional cup holders, not just for show. And it also really acts as a really decent armrest as well. Okay, so now I am actually driving the Subaru WRX S4. I gotta say, I actually kind of like this car. It's quite comfortable, I must say. Now you see, I'm a large guy, and yet I have more than ample space in this cabin. I don't feel constrained or constricted, and I feel super comfortable where I'm seated. I feel rooted, that's more importantly lah. Okay, I'm rooted. Acceleration wise, guys, I'll let you guys be the judge of it. See what I mean? Off it goes. It accelerates very well, but I kind of feel like it could do better. Maybe the STI version would outdo it in this sense, but for the S4, it still does a sufficient enough job. Because you're driving a WRX, right? You cannot expect it to be a silent car. So this car is not exactly silent. The engineers have done their best, but you are still going to hear some road noise because of the tires. You are going to hear the grunt of the engine when you accelerate like this, but it's still a little bit muffled. In terms of the vibration, I'm not feeling any vibration at this point. Nothing in the car rattles, the steering wheel is firm. I couldn't ask for anything else at this point. You remember this, that term, grip is everything. Well, Subaru engineers have definitely heard the people saying, grip is indeed everything you need in a car like this. They perfected it. Well, kinda. They can still make it better, I think. Touching a little bit more on comfort, I know I explained about my comfort as a driver, but as passengers, your comfort also matters. Now, because this is a car that has been designed more for, performance, racing, so cornering and all is supposed to be the main objective. So it is going to be a little bit hard, the suspension. Don't expect it to be smooth over uneven patches or bumps. You're going to feel the bounciness. It absorbs what it can, but it's bouncy, so it's a little bit like a racehorse, if I may say so. Hey, now guys, there's one more neat feature I like about this Subaru. Modes. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, the driving modes. Right now, When I drove earlier, it was on the intelligent mode, which is basically another way of eco mode. Right now, I'm in the SI mode. This is the Sport Sharp mode. And I've changed this to a semi-manual, which is basically using the pedal shifters. And so we have yet once again come to the end of another review, and this time it has been a rather interesting one. Sure, the car itself, being a WRX version, does have character, which I absolutely love and appreciate. But the biggest question remains, is this really a car that you want to get yourself? I think it's important we crunch down some numbers, guys. So, price on this car is going at 166,500 ringgit. Now, because the car was manufactured back in 2014, the banks can only provide a loan of up to 8 years. Realistically here, the loan is going to be for 5 and 7 years, with the repayment being $2,850 on estimate for the 5-year loan and reduced down to 2,150 ringgit for the 7-year loan. This is in fact based on a 3% per annum interest rate and you putting 10% deposit. It's a pretty neat car actually, but guys, you need the dough if you're gonna get this kind of car, because don't expect repayment prices of below 1,000 for a car like this. However, that being said, this is a very renowned car, so after sales and part support should not really be an issue. Being a 2.0, maintenance such as road tax and all, still very much more acceptable. This could be your next car, and my personal rating after reviewing this is going to be a solid A-. This is a great car, it's got a few great features, and satisfaction is definitely a guarantee over there, especially if you are young at heart and a racing type of person. Again, this car is still available for sale, so if you're interested, please reach out to the sales representative involved. His details are down in the description below. And as always, my name is Greg. I'm always happy to present these cars to you. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment to all our videos. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next one.